But in theory, our dogs could have a chunk of raw prime rib.
Oh, sure. If he wants... I am
We're
not
not
giving up
going
my
to.
prime rib for the dogs. I'm sorry. They're getting really good food, but it's not that.
We're going to go over the holiday food items. And this is not expansive, but these are just some popular items that people have at
So at our house,
holiday dinners.
Hugh is making this, oh my gosh, phenomenal prime rib.
Okay, somebody asked me what we were having. I was like, I don't actually even know. I'm just showing up.
I mean, this thing is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. But none of that will go to the dogs because the drippings that come off of that are pancreatitis looking for a place to happen. The bones are going to be cooked, so they absolutely cannot have them. But if you're making turkey, again, cooked bones, the gravy and the drippings,
So
no
cooked,
skin.
cooked bones, cooked fats.
Cooked fats, so like the skin, that kind of stuff, absolutely not. So if you're doing turkey and your dog is raw fed, if you pull out the neck and the gizzard and the liver and the hearts and you're not using all that, that is absolutely fine for your dogs. You could cook the giblets, not the neck, but the liver, the gizzard, the heart, if you wanted to cook that for your pets, absolutely fine. Dogs or cats can have those, but no cooked bones. And be really careful with turkeys. Like if you're doing a natural turkey, that is fine. But if you're doing one that's more from a big commercial type place, the breast is injected with all kinds of things, fats and things that probably not really good for your pets.
Yeah, that is the hard. And same thing with ham. So even like
ham is not good all the way across the board.
Yeah, so ham, even if it's just like, I mean, they're all cooked anyway. But
Yeah.
a raw ham is still
Yeah.
going to be
No
too
ham.
high
No
sodium
ham, no
for
bacon.
dogs.
Um,
So you want to avoid processed meats, so like ham, bacon, sausage, cooked fats, anything with like gristle, cooked steak, cooked prime rib.
Yeah.
But in theory, our dogs could have a chunk of raw prime rib.
Oh, sure. If he wants, I am
We're
not
not
giving up
going
my
to.
prime rib for the dogs. I'm sorry. They're getting really good food, but it's not that.
I was going to say, my dogs eat better than me every single day of the year. Give me this one day.
Yep.
One day to eat better than you. The rest...
So let's see, veggies, anything raw, steamed, or canned veggies is going to be fine. Like green beans, carrots, broccoli, asparagus, mushrooms, all those kinds of things are going to be great for them. If you're making cranberry sauce, they can have the cranberries, but not all the sugar.
No onions, so avoid. That's the main thing. And like, if you do, people really do stuffing for Christmas? I don't know. Some
If you're
people
doing
do.
turkey, yeah.
But anything with onions, avoid. Garlic, okay.
Garlic is okay. For dogs. For cats, I would go very light with it. Starchy veggies, baked or boiled, white or sweet potatoes are fine. Not the sweet potato casserole with the marshmallows and the syrup and all that stuff.
And no raw white potatoes, right? There's some chemical in
Yeah.
raw potatoes. I can't remember the name of it.
They have selenium, but and fruits, they can have whole cranberries, apples, pumpkin. That stuff is all fine for them.
Although if you do serve whole cranberries, I learned the hard way that you do have to chop them up before you feed them.
They just poop them out whole.
Otherwise,
They poop
your
them out
dog
whole.
just poops out whole cranberries.
So no chocolate, no candy,
No alcohol,
no
no
ham,
xylitol,
no xylitol, no sorbitol.
just no sweeteners.
No raisins, no pumpkin pie mix.
Garlic is okay, onions no.
So no baked pies, breads, no raw dough, like yeast dough. So if you're making homemade rolls or homemade bread that has to rise, get that far, far away from the animals, because if they ingest the raw yeast dough, it'll ferment in their stomach, and it makes ethanol, basically. So they'll have seizures, coma, be drunk.
And so for those of you that joined us a little bit late, we're going over the holiday food guide. So yeah, I think you covered most of these, but just avoiding like sugar, salt, cooked fats, cooked bones.
Bones, yeah.
Synthetic stuff, which is really, I mean, we should be probably avoiding most of these things too.
On a daily basis, we should avoid all those things for their pets. So.
I really was like, if I just followed my own nutrition advice for pets, I would probably be 3 times healthier.
Broth, so like a chicken broth or a bone broth, turkey broth, yes, if you're making your own. I mean, we have bone broth recipes, but if you're talking about the drippings, like the stuff that drips off your turkey when you cook it, no, because that's all the grease and the fats, so none of that.
Yeah, so like an actual bone broth, we have bone broth here for dogs and cats,
which actually is what we're using for cooking our food.
I was about to say it's like the same as a bone broth for people just without onions is usually the main difference. Yeah. But that's different from something that's super fatty with cooked fats.
Right.
Because you always get, you know, the pancreatitis and the foreign bodies and what are the classic holiday emergency
the week
trips?
Between Christmas and New Year's, your veterinarians are going to be, and emergency services are going to be very busy with pancreatitis, vomiting and diarrhea, trash-itis, you know, they get into the trash, foreign bodies, hemorrhagic gastroenteritis, you know, dehydration. There's bound to be chocolate toxicities, raisin or grape toxicities, alcohol, drugs.
Well, so THC is going to be toxic in large doses, dogs and cats too.
Yeah, not even that large dose.
Well, yeah.
So
small dose.
Yeah, and anybody who has the flu or a cold or any kind of illness throughout the holidays, please make sure that your Tylenol, acetaminophen, cold meds are, you know, phenylephrine, phenylalanine, all that stuff. Ibuprofen,
Motrin,
naproxen, all that kind of stuff. Good secure lids where they can't get to it. Do not leave things on your nightstand. We get this all the time. Well, I had my medications lined up on my night table and the dog knocked it off or the cat knocked it off and the dog ate the bottle and it's not good. So make sure all that stuff is far away.
That happened to me. And then I spent like, like $75 when you call poison control or whatever it is. And they were like, oh, your dog's going to be fine. I was like, okay, that's it? And they were like, yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's $75 well spent. I mean, if you'd gone to emergency, it would have been $500
Thousands,
easily.
Yeah. And they would have also charged me the $75 fee to call poison control on my behalf.
Yeah. So go ahead and call on your own.
But that is a good resource. I think it's just called the Poison Control Hotline, right?
Yeah, there's ASPCA has one, and I think University of Illinois has one if they still have it.
So you do have to pay a fee, which is upsetting when you think you've accidentally poisoned your pet, but it is totally worth the money because they have a whole database of drugs and things.
Well, and they can
also
when you give them
veterinarians.
when you give them the size of your animal and how much of whatever it was that they ate, you think they ate, they can calculate to see whether that's a toxic dose, and so whether you need to be concerned or not.
So it's more than just. Is this what you're talking about? The ASPCA
Animal Poison Control.
Okay, I'll paste it on Facebook. But I had to use poison control, and this is something similar to what you used in the office too. Like if you had a dog come in and they're like, my dog ate 700 milligrams of this drug, and you're like, okay, well, I gotta call.
Yeah, we would call poison control.
Poison control.
Because they could give us instantly, you know, this is the treatment. Rather than me running around trying to figure it out, it's like, here's how you need to treat them. This is whether you want to make them vomit or not. And this is the toxic dose, and this is how long they need to stay in the hospital, the lab work you need to be running, when you need to repeat it, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I did.
Definitely worth it.
I did quiz the girl that I had in my experience because I didn't believe it. I was like, what do you mean my dog's gonna be fine? She just ate 60 pills. She was like, yeah, but it was the natural thyroid.
Oh.
She was like, well, they process the natural thyroid supplements significantly differently than humans do. So 60 pills to you would be a large overdose, but for your dog, it's processed 1/100th of the potency or whatever she explained. So she did the math and was like, oh yeah, your dog would have had to eat 5 times more than this to have potential symptoms. And I was like, oh.
So one of our Dobermans ate 100 dog thyroid tablets once.
Well, because I realized later they're pig thyroid or something.
They're
so they obviously have some type of flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my dog, when he ate his bottle, so I had only been out of school for a year, maybe 2. And so I ordered a 1,000 count bottle of thyroid medication for my dog, for the Doberman. And they had this special. If you bought a bottle of 1,000 tablets, you got 10 100 count bottles. So I basically got 2,000 pills for the price of 1,000. So I was like, okay, well, he's on this for life. Sure, why not? Well, they're flavored. They were beef-flavored chewable tablets. And so he jumped up on the counter and took one of the 100-count bottles. Thankfully, he took the 100-count, not the 1,000. And he munched down all of those. So by the time I came home from work and found this disaster, luckily, he had vomited brown pills everywhere.
That's
everywhere. Good. Now, it was good because he didn't get to absorb all of it because it made him really nauseous. So that was the good news. He didn't kill himself. I had to spend time cleaning carpet, but this is how you learn things. This is when you go, wow, I really need to put those medications not on top of the kitchen counter. They need to be in a cabinet.
I did, and I was like, you know what? Of the medications I had in my little chest, for her to get into the one that she processes significantly more efficiently than us, or whatever made it so it wasn't dangerous, I was like, that was a good one to pick. Good sniffing.
Good sniffing.
Okay, last but certainly not least, we figured out how to gift courses. Yeah. Exciting news.
She's smarter than me.
Actually, it was mostly Emily, so thank you, Emily.
Emily's smarter than me.
But basically, the way it works, it's super simple. You just go on and you purchase a course online like you normally would.
On Dr. Judy U.
On drjudyu.com. I'm going to paste a link as soon as I figure out what I'm doing. And then it will email you basically a gift code. And so the person, whoever you want to gift it to, it'll say use this code for dog longevity, and so they don't have to pay for it. They just redeem that code and they get the full course. So it's really nice, especially if you forgot to get physical gifts. This is an instant digital code that processes literally. You could do it midnight on Christmas Eve if you want to. But it's also nice. We had a lot of people that say they want to send it to like a daughter, friend, family member, because they really enjoyed it. So this makes it really easy. You just give them the code and the website, which is drjudyu.com. And I don't think we have all of the courses on here, but it's all of the popular ones. So if anybody doesn't see a course on the gift a course page, just send us an email and Emily can probably figure out how to do it. Oh, somebody on Instagram was asking how they can become a supporter. So
you gotta be on Facebook. That's step one.
We have, like, on all the social media platforms, there's like that extra payment that you can subscribe to somebody's exclusive content. So on Facebook, that's called Facebook supporters. So if you go to the Facebook page, the Dr. G. Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets, it should have a big blue button that says become a supporter. Is it still $10 a month?
Yeah, $9.99 or something.
It's like $10 a month, and it's just been grandfathered in as one of like the first things that you offered, and we just keep doing it.
We were one of the first pages that Facebook invited to do that. Karen and Rodney have one. It's their inside scoop that they do on Sundays. So we do a lot of Ask Me Anything, but then the supporters also get sometimes first dibs on things, or they'll get special offers on things on the website. And like for Cyber Week, they got to shop a day before everybody else with their own code, and they got a special gift included with their packages on Cyber Week. So
yeah, but with Facebook supporters, I will say, like, we probably lose money on Facebook supporters, but it's just fun. Like, it's just a nice tight,
I enjoy it.
It's like a nice tight group of people that are really passionate, and you do weekly calls,
usually weekly,
or
ask
Facebook
me anything, or like if I'm trying out a new presentation, if I have to put a presentation for an event,
test it out on the supporters.
A lot of times I test it out on supporters.
Yeah.
So you get different content.
Yeah, so it's like it's kind of similar to, I feel like everybody's doing exclusive content now.
A lot of people do Patreon.
There's Patreon. Instagram has a gated exclusive club thing, and YouTube does too. Yep. We haven't done it anywhere else except for Facebook, and we've kept it really cheap and just fun, really.
We do it fun.
Yeah, so if you want to be a Facebook supporter, that's kind of what you can expect. You will guaranteed get your money back like a bazillion times over in perks. But it's just one of those things that you've offered for so long. You just keep offering. Oh, the fat on bone broth. So do you typically, if you make your own bone broth, you just skim, like when you let it, you make the bone broth, you let it cool, and then
I put it in the refrigerator so the fat solidifies on the top, and then I skim that off.
So you skim all the fat that's on the surface after it cools. If you're feeding, so like if you buy like the crude carnivore or the Carew, or I don't think we have small batch back in, all of those, the fat content is actually pretty low. So that's fine.
Yeah, it's really low. It's really low.
Yeah, so if you have a dog with like pancreatitis or some
you can use them.
issue, you can still feed the bone broth that we carry. But if you make your own, remove the cooked fat.
Yep, absolutely.
Can you tell me more about why to avoid cooked fat?
Pancreatitis.
Yeah, so pancreatitis has quite the reputation. It's pretty misunderstood, where people just assume if your dog gets into the trash or something, they're gonna immediately have pancreatitis. But there's a lot of different causes. One of the pretty surefire ways to upset a pancreas, though, is a lot of cooked fat.
Right. So raw fat is fine. So for instance, a keto diet is 70% fat, and they don't get pancreatitis because it's raw.
Yeah.
So it's the cooked fats and high carbohydrate, high sugar diets contribute to pancreatitis. So we have a couple really good blogs on pancreatitis as well. So pancreatitis is just a state of inflammation, and anything that causes inflammation, cooked fats are pro-inflammatory. They are higher in omega-6 than omega-3. Anyway, that's another whole. I think we need to end.
Yeah, we do. But we're gonna, if we keep taking questions, we'll be here forever.
We'll be
Okay.
here forever.
So hopefully this helps. You can download Dr. Judy's Holiday Food Guide. It's a free PDF. I posted the links on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. It's just the link in bio. Free PDF downloads, completely free. You just check out for $0. And then the Holiday Health Hazards for Pets is a blog on the website as well.